Good evening. This is LuncLiveNews with yours truly, Mr. Diamond Hands. And we're back. Let's have a glance at this week's headlines first. In crypto news, China's Jiangsu province in Nanjing has launched a new government-backed metaverse platform. The China Metaverse Technology and Application Innovation Platform is set to advance development in the sector across the country. This new program is being headed by the Nanjing University of Information and Science Technology. Hong Kong will allow retail investors to access licensed crypto exchanges. Aiming to stay ahead while exercising caution in embracing digital assets, the Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission announced its decision to permit retail investors to access cryptocurrency exchanges. However, it is important to note that this development comes with certain conditions or limitations. In other news, the Texas Senate passed a proof of reserves bill. Moreover, the legislation would require cryptocurrency exchanges to maintain the necessary reserves, continuing the state's current run of pro-crypto legislation. Specifically, the bill requires exchanges to hold reserves in an amount sufficient to fulfill all obligations to customers, it states. The bill officially passed through the Senate on May 15th and is now awaiting signature from the state's governor to become law. Today's burning update is brought to you by LunaClassic NFT and its new Oracle Utility NFT series launching soon on the LunaClassic blockchain. This week's burn numbers are 59.56 billion total lunk burned, with a total of 1,096,867,870 burned over the last 7 days, with a total circulating supply of 5.87 trillion, as 978 billion are currently staked. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Diamond Seat. I'm your host, Mr. Diamond Hands, and on today's program, we have with us in the studio BC of TerraPoker. Now, TerraPoker made an announcement not too long ago, letting the LunaClassic community that they are coming back home to Lunk, and this is very, very exciting. So, BC, thank you so much for coming into the studio. Please tell us a little bit about your background and why you guys made the decision to come back to the LunaClassic blockchain.
Yeah, hey, thanks guys. Thanks so much for having me. This is BC from TerraPoker. Diamond Hands, by the way, great name. What a handle to have for poker. I wish I had that name, Diamond Hands.
Right.
But nonetheless, thanks so much for having me. Yeah, my name is BC. I'm part of the TerraPoker team here. I lead the business side of the team. We launched in September of 2022, so just shortly over 7 months ago, on the Terra 2 platform. We actually were on schedule to launch shortly before the USD DPEG fiasco happened about a year ago. So long story short, I have a good friend over at TFL at the time, and I don't know if you guys know the Valkyrie team, but they launched. They are a team from the Terra EIR program, and they launched shortly before, about 2 years ago, I want to say. And what kind of started off as a hobby just really kind of eventually ended up becoming a full-on protocol. And the reason why I talk about Valkyrie is because I was on part of that team, and then I had a few friends that, just played poker on a regular basis, and we decided to just make the protocol. And then I came over to this side of of the pond. So when we say that we're coming back home, that's just a few of us, but we really wanted to come back, see the vibrancy of the LunaClassic ecosystem. We really do believe that you guys still have such a great vibrancy, great community, and as a GameFi protocol, that's what we want to do, right? We want to do a community building blue chip protocol back onto LunaClassic. So glad to be here. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys will meet you guys on May 22nd.
Absolutely. I'm taking a look at your social media here on Twitter. That's TP_TerraPoker for all of the listeners who are on board with this today. If you want to go check them out and follow them on Twitter, this is the kind of stuff that I love to see, right? Because we were just talking about our last program, about the DPEG, right? UST depegging, everything crashing, red candles everywhere. And we were just talking about how far the LunaClassic community has come within that first year, right? I know a lot of people were saying, man, it's over, Diamond, it's dead. Cast it aside, cut your losses. But I'm telling you, I just knew something was going on here with this vibrant community. They're just so hard-headed. They won't quit. They won't quit. They won't let something die. They banded together, and they got governance back online, got burns going. Binance is still burning for them monthly. So there's a lot of excitement going on in the community right now as we're sitting here talking, especially since 1 year is in the books, right? 1 year post-crash. It's very fantastic, right? I love seeing people that are still continuing to work, still repairing things. And I know the L1 task force is working around the clock to get us back to parity, which is scheduled to happen at the end of May, right? So we're super excited to be able to just go out into Cosmos and say, guys, look, we're open for business. We want to talk to the wonderful, amazing builders in all of the ecosystems and see what we can do to collaborate, because that's what needs to happen, right? That's what we need to show the rest of the market, that we have value and we've got stuff here that other people want to utilize. So let's dive right into your project. So poker. Now listen, I'm not the best at it, but I try my best. But I'm seeing that you guys do some poker stuff. Do you have any other games, or are you just solely focusing on the poker aspect?
Yeah, oh, great question. We are, after all, TerraPoker, so that means that we're probably going to stick with Terra, and we're going to stick with poker. The poker, building an online poker platform is incredibly difficult, and I think that we made incredible strides in developing the game. So yeah, short answer is that we're going to stick with poker. I think if there is any more variation that'll be coming, it'll be the style of poker, right? But we do think that Texas Hold'em will be the way that we will go forward on Terra 2.0 and by extension Terra Lunk as well.
Gotcha. So let's walk through the process. Say I am a new user. I'm listening to LuncLiveNews for the very first time. You've struck my interest. I want to be able to get on this. What do I need to do as a first-time listener in order to play your game?
Yeah. So again, great question. This is so as first of all, you need to get your hands on the Lunk token. That will be the primary utility token on the Lunk blockchain, and however you get your hands on it, whether that be through a CEX or a DEX on the blockchain. Once you have that, you just connect your wallet on TerraPoker.games, and then or Terra.poker actually is one of our domain names as well. And then you'll just see a tab that says Classic. You click onto the Classic, you hop onto an open table, and you start playing. We have different blind structures. Right now, the primary utility token will be Lunk. And yeah, and you just start playing. So as long as you know the rules of the game, we use a very standardized Texas Hold'em poker rule set. You get your hands on Lunk, and you come and you play with your peers.
Very nice. Now, do you guys have any prize pools? I'm looking on games, and I'm seeing here some, I guess, some prize pools that are available. So kind of talk a little bit about that. Do you guys do those once a month? Do you do them once a week? How can people who are interested in trying to get in for the cash, how can they how can they go for the winnings?
Yeah. So every time we do make every time we plan on growing out and stepping into a new ecosystem, this is exactly the same way of how we launch. We're gonna initially start with cash games only. So that means that these are 24-hour tables. People could come in and out as they wish and as they please. And the prize money will be whatever you and your peers on the table actually contribute on to the pot. So so they have different buy-ins, they have different blinds, and the blinds don't increase. It's not a tournament style game. You just come in and out, like I said, as you wish. So that's basically, we're gonna be running like a poker pub. And not a tournament style game like you will see referring to the prize pools. The tournament style games will stay on Luna 2.0 for the time being. But if we have gathered enough interest and there's a lot of community members playing our game, then obviously that's something that we're going to be building out onto the Lunk community members as well.
Very nice. Now I'm looking at some of the tabs here, and I see here that you guys have a swap function here. Now, will you guys be, I guess, implementing LunaClassic on there in the future as well? If you have a lot of volume, a lot of players come onto your platform, are you guys going to take a look at that as well? I see that you have TPT going to Luna 2.0. Will that also incorporate Lunk as well?
Yeah, so good. Again, a lot of the features would stay on 2.0, including governance and including swaps and LPs.
Okay.
Yeah, so the right now we just need to gauge the community interest before we do implement a bit more features or similar features. So the TPT that you see is actually holding actually has utility value on the 2.0 chain. And for Lunk, we will be we will just be primarily using Lunk and just only on cash games. So it'll be a very transactional very simple structure on Lunk. So short answer of that is also the swap feature or any kind of bridge feature would be used on 2.0.
Gotcha. And that's one thing that people are really starting to have talks about is, again, the parity issue. The L1 task force is working very hard, like I said before, to get everything up and running again, to get IVCs back online and everything ready to go, so that by the end of this month, if not the first week of June, we can go out there and we can say just what we said earlier, like, hey guys, look, our blockchain's back to normal. We're open for business, and let's talk some turkey. So I'm very excited to kind of see you all kind of being the first. I mean, honestly, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody else, but I think that you guys are one of the first ones to actually publicly, before even parity is reached, to kind of say, hey guys, we're coming back. We like what you're doing over here. We're going to be coming back to LunaClassic and just getting people hyped again, getting people playing again. Anybody that knows me, I am a gaming nerd. That's what I like to do. I love to do that in real world. I like to do online gaming. And when I see stuff like this, it gets me excited because, just like I said earlier, just one short year ago, it just seemed like everything was just falling to pieces, right?
Mm.
Everything was just going to hell in a handbasket. And now, right, fast forward a year later, everything is recovering. And this thing it really is a Cinderella story. And anybody that's, a follower of mine or that tunes into LuncLiveNews or LuncLive during the week in Spaces, this is some of the stuff that we talk about, is that, your community members will make your project what it needs to be. And I don't care how good your protocols are or your swaps or your dexes or whatever you've created. If you don't have those people, right, you don't got those guys and those girls who believe in you, your project's not going to do anything, right? And I think that's what's really cool about not only just LunaClassic, but all of Cosmos and Luna 2.0. I mean, we're kind of the underdogs, if you will, of crypto right now. Not a whole lot of people understand what it is we do, right, on a daily basis. And I think the last time I checked on Cosmos, I think it's top 20, if I'm not mistaken, last time I took a look at it. And then Luna, so I mean, like a lot of stuff's happening, right? I mean, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I have so many different thoughts on it, but you're absolutely right. We are one of the I like to say pioneers that are coming back onto LunaClassic, because we do have a conviction about it, and that was the same conviction that we held once when we were launching on 2.0. Like I said, when we launched 2.0, it was in September of 2022, so just a few months ago, and the story and the narrative there was no one's coming back. We were literally the first ones, apart from Astroport Dex, that came out and said, you know what, we're gonna launch our full protocol back, and that's when we partnered up with Valkyrie. And so I should say the Valkyrie was the first to come back, and then we came along. We did our first sale with them as well, and whatever was left of the community really kind of bonded together. And now on Terra 2.0, we have a community that's so unified, and they like public Twitter about TerraPoker is extremely strong. And so that's how we want to position ourselves even on the LunaClassic chain, is we call ourselves the Holy Trinity. On one end you have GameFi, right? P2E, play to earn. But it's not just play to earn. This is just you're actually just earning just by playing games. But it's not the P2E, like, oh, you reach a certain level and you keep on doing this and you get tokens, and the tokens eventually kind of dilute later on because they have no utility. This is constant utility on these games, right? So you have game finance. On the other side, you have social. You have decentralized social. So like I said, I want to bring the community back onto a table. It's hard enough to get people on Twitter. It's hard enough to get people on the same line on discussions or on forums. But that's like the one part I really loved about the LunaClassic community, is that people were still banding together, and people were still looking for a way to build community. And one of the ways that we want to do that was to offer that as well. And then on the other side, you have the decentralized finance, right? So you have social finance, you have game finance, you have decentralized finance. So yeah, we just really think that coming into LunaClassic at this time would just be a really fun time to come. There hasn't been a lot of utility for LunaClassic recently for the Lunk token itself. So yeah, we really think that we're going to be bringing up transactional volume. We're going to be bringing up users, and hopefully that will lead into some kind of snowballing effect later on, to know that LunaClassic still has utility.
I couldn't agree more, my man, and I really like that, because a lot of people, they're so passionate, right, when it comes to this, and they want to be able to look at people, right, because you're going to have your naysayers, and it's not just LunaClassic too. It's every project in DeFi, every project in crypto. You're going to have the naysayers, you're going to have the non-believers, even maybe some trolls, right? And at the end of the day, you just have to block it out. You got to block out the noise and just be really hard-headed, is all I like to say. You have to be convinced, right? And like you said, band together and get your people on your side, and just tell people, like, look, man, we've got this. Like, we can make this happen. I know the road looks rough and it's going to be long, but we're going to walk it together, right? And I love how our task force is working hard to get things working again. And I'm really excited too, because once they give us the green light, I've been talking to people about this, BC in channels and, on Twitter and Telegram, that, once this thing is ready to roll and we reach parity again and everything's ready to rock, I want to get some of our large influencers and our YouTubers and community members and start reaching out to these projects and just telling them, like, look, guys, we want to work with you. We want to be, we want to get a spotlight on us, because I think people, they're still hesitant, right? Because even though it's been a year, we're talking about one of the worst crashes in all of crypto history, the worst black swan event that actually took us another leg down in the market, in the bear market, right, with Bitcoin, because of Luna falling. And we want to be able to go to those people and say, look, I know your trust was lost, and we're not asking you to believe in us right out of the gate, but just take a look at what we're doing over here. See what we've built. See the partnerships that we've made. See us out here, right? We're not just saying, look, you better believe in us. This is your only chance. Like, do it or else. No, it's so off from that, right? It's the total opposite. What I believe in and the approach that I would take is simply this: like, look, we want to earn your trust again. It's under new control, right? We're community owned. We've got people that are really busting their tail, man. I'll just be honest with you, that want to see this thing back in its rightful place, and up towards the top where it needs to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And furthermore, too, the conversations I've been having as well, I hate the word division, like, oh, it's us versus them, right? Now I want to get your take on this too, BC. So obviously you guys are on 2.0 and we're on Classic. Like, what would you say if you heard of somebody saying like, no, like that's old, that's old school, we just need to stay away from each other. You do you, we'll do us. What is your take on that situation?
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that we have seen is definitely the division between 2.0 and Classic, right? And not to say on what side of the fence you really are on, but there is a lot more unity on the LunaClassic side than I do see on the Terra 2 side, just by simply of the community engagement levels. On the other hand, I do see a bit more utility on the T2 side. So when we came along, we said, listen, we represent Terra as a whole, whether that be Classic or on 2.0. And we just want to see, a house that's divided does not stand. That's a biblical quote, but it's a very it's a quote that uses no pun intended really here, right? Talking about the house, but we really do think that we could tap onto both sides of the community and really bring them together, and that's what TerraPoker is about. It's about bringing two universes together onto one table and saying, hey, if you want to play on this side, you play on this side. If you want to play on the others, you play on the other. But we're eventually going to get to a place where you could have the capability of playing on the same table, and that's where. And yes, you're playing against another person on the table, but at the same time, you're also opening that up for discussion, where you are opening that up for more dialogue to bring. So I have seen other protocols. I can't really name one on top of my head that actually has launched both on Classic and on Terra 2 right now. A lot of the ones that have launched on Terra 2 actually have gone onto other chains. Yeah, we're the only one that really kind of integrated both blockchains onto one UI and on one domain. That way there's a lot more seamless unity across the two chains. So I don't really want to talk about what side is right, what side is has more unity. But really, what I do want to position ourselves in is, hey, let's bring utility back, and let's bring everyone back onto the same table, right? Bring them under the house, and let's just everyone had a tough year, right? Everyone had a tough year, like you said, right? So one of the things that we want to do is, yeah, we had a tough year. Just keep your heads down and just build, and eventually that will get us somewhere. And let's just keep expanding. Let's tap onto the LunaClassic community, right? So that's what we're kind of excited to do. Really, it's to really kind of bridge that gap between that division, like you said, because honestly, crypto is already fragmented. We're already getting our asses kicked already. It doesn't help for us to be any more divided than we already are.
I couldn't agree more, and we're seeing that all the time here, especially in the United States where I live. I mean, it's like every day you see Gary Gensler in the SEC just coming out with constant announcements like, this exchange getting sued, we're going after this person, this person's going to be under arrest. I mean, it's just, I couldn't agree more with you. I mean, the whole universe of crypto right now is hurting, right? We've been in a bear market since 2021. Here we are, year 2 going into it. Nobody knows if we're going to be coming out of it. I know Bitcoin is sitting around the 27K. It topped out around 30K. I'm hoping we push through. Nothing is ever guaranteed in crypto. And who knows? This could be a bull trap. This could be a fake out. Nobody really knows, right? All we can do is try our TA and just keep our eyes peeled on the market to see what's going on. But then you've got the situation with, the worldwide inflation, and Jerome Powell, right, of the Fed has basically said it over and over again that we are going to continue to raise rates until inflation in the United States is at 2%. And I know we just recently got some information that it's at 4.9 and people were celebrating. Well, I was not one of those people celebrating, BC, right? Because, this guy's basically telling people very professionally, like, guys, we're going to keep raising rates. You're going to be feeling some pain. It's going to hurt your pocketbooks. It's going to slow innovation. It's going to slow demand, right? Well, when I hear that, I'm not that silly, right? I understand that means, look, you're going to be hurting for a bit. We've got a situation still with inflation. And so that's going to bleed over, obviously, into crypto. And we started to see that for the longest time. It seemed like any project that was launching, it would only get, 2 to 3 million market caps. I remember seeing that happen every single day. And it wasn't until here recently with some of these meme coins that obviously kind of woke people up, shook off the cobwebs and the dust, and kind of got people semi-bullish again. But again, I'm very hesitant because nobody knows. I don't know. Nobody knows how long we're going to be in this bear run. But I'm telling you this, the perfect opportunity for bear markets is to build. That's when you're really going to bring it home, and what's going to take you into those next bull runs and make you hit those marks when you've got the use cases, you've got the products that people are going to use every single day in crypto. I recently, BC, put on my Twitter, from CZ Binance, and they were asking him, what do you think is a good piece of advice to tell people about, their projects? And he's like, look, just focus on utility and your users. Find something that people are going to use, right, in crypto every day, right? And if it's something like simple, then rock and roll with it. But you've got to create something that people are going to say, hey, this is pretty convenient, or hey, this is pretty fun, or this is pretty cool. I'm enjoying myself with this. Or just like you said earlier, with decentralized finance. I really think that is the future of money. I really do. That's what got me bullish on the Classic and Terra in general, because I really believe that you're going to start seeing within the next few years that decentralized money is really going to start taking off. And I know it's a conversation that we could probably have our own podcast series on, but I swear, even this circumstance we find ourselves in with Luna, crashing. I mean, me personally, man, I think it was planned. I like to put on my tinfoil hat every now and then and talk about it, but I think the reason that the crash happened in the first place was because it was a threat. It really was. It was a threat on money itself, right? And so I want people to understand when they're looking at cryptocurrency, when they're trying to decide of what to buy and what should I be bullish on, number one, you need to be bullish on teams, right? And people, communities, product, use cases. Those are the things that are going to take you to that next level, BC, and keep you around, because I'm pretty sure you can understand this and probably agree. With meme coins, the hype's going to leave eventually. Hype will die. People will sell, whales will dump their bags, the charts will go red, and it's on like Donkey Kong. And then you're gonna have bag holders, right? That stay bag holders for could be years. You never know. I'm sure there's bag holders right now that bought at 73 cents with Dogecoin back in 2020, 2021. Could be. You don't know, right? And so I think that's one thing we got to really start paying attention to in the future, is just aligning ourselves with strong teams, strong communities, and people that just have value, right? But I like the idea what you said about having everybody at the same table. I can already picture, I'm closing my eyes and I'm taking a look at this, and I can kind of see a poker table, and you got everybody there. You got some 2.0 cats, you got some classic people. And now, do you guys have the ability to text? Do you have that ability with your protocol, or no?
Yeah, so we haven't integrated that kind of chat feature or emojis or anything like that. We would have loved to, but then that was a very strategic decision as of right now, just because it's in such early stages. So we wanted to bring the communicative part out onto our Telegram channel, for example. And so our Telegram channel is going to be integrated. We're going to be serving both LunaClassic community members and the 2.0 members on our Telegram chat room. We do have a Discord, but it hasn't been as active as our Telegram. So we are going to be serving both sides on that channel, and we think that it's just a better way for us to kind of integrate both sides. So our players do communicate mostly on the Telegram channel as well. So that's where you see a lot of the banter that comes up, and it's just so much fun when you just kind of read through it. It really is one of the only few Telegram channels that I actively kind of look at, not because of work, but because it's hilarious, right? So
right. And I've been around some buddies that are big poker players, and I completely agree with what you're saying. I mean, the banter in there gets pretty heated sometimes, and
yeah,
you can't help but laugh at it because they're like, "Oh, here we go again. He's hot again. I don't understand why I keep losing. Something doesn't add up here, right? This guy's a shark or something." I mean, that's kind of the banter that you hear getting around a table, and that's good stuff though. Like you said, people have had a horrible year, and I think people are ready to get out of it. Right?
Hey, sorry, I think I accidentally disconnected. Am I back on?
Yep, you're back.
Okay.
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Yeah.
So let's Diamond, we got to start that question again.
Okay, let's start it again. So BC. So I really like how people are showing enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. They're excited about this announcement, and that's pretty cool how you guys utilize your Telegram, right, to have this banter, because I've got a lot of guys that play poker, and the conversations get hilarious sometimes. If somebody gets a hot hand, they immediately say, okay, something's not adding up here, this guy's got aces up his sleeves, and they start picking on one another, which it's all good and dandy, but I think a lot of people are ready just to get out of this funk, right? Because like you said, the last year has been crazy. People have lost money. People are stagnant. They're ready for some exciting news, some bullish news. And this was brought to my attention. They were like, hey, Diamond, have you heard the big news about TerraPoker? And I was like, no, I've not heard that. And they were like, yeah, man, they're going to come back to LunaClassic. And I said, well, I got to get these guys on the show. We got to find out who they are and have them, introduce themselves and give them a spotlight. That's one thing, BC, we really focus on with, Lunk Live and LuncLiveNews for the LunaClassic network is our sole job is to inform the LunaClassic community about all things going on, right? Whether it's good, the bad, the ugly, I mean, you name it, right? So we really enjoy this kind of news. It's really good news. We love introducing, this kind of stuff to the community to kind of get their hopes up and say, guys, check it out. Don't lose hope. Things are in motion. People are working. People are coming back to the blockchain. Word is slowly getting out. And I really commend you guys for, taking that opportunity and making that decision, to come back to Lunk, because I can tell you this, the LunaClassic community, I've been in crypto for many years, right? And I'm not just saying this. People probably have said this before, but I really mean this. I don't think I've ever seen a community as tight-knit as Classic, because these people have been through the ringer, right? I mean, they've been through hell and back, forged in fire, no doubt about that. And so when they hear of legitimate projects that are coming back, to the blockchain, building on the blockchain, showing they have worth and value, I can tell you this from being with these people now for over a year. If they do their research, check everything out, everything is safe, everything is secure and kosher, they'll support you to the end of the earth. They really were. I mean, they really will, right? And so I'm really excited to see you guys make these announcements. Now, obviously, I saw you guys. Now, you guys originally were going to launch a little bit earlier, but I guess you guys are now going to wait until parity gets figured out. Is that right? Until you guys kind of launch, or are you kind of waiting to see how that goes?
So yeah, you're right. We're gonna be we were supposed to launch tonight, actually. But the reason why we held out for one more week was because there's going to be a very big upgrade happening on the TerraClassic network, on the WASM side, on the bridging side, and we just when we go into classic the classic blockchain, we want to ensure that we're delivering a good product, a very stable product. So like you kind of said, as long as we're working, as long as we're there for the community, then they will support us. We were just unsure what this major upgrade was going to look like. So just hang on, just one more week. We're going to be testing on the new network upgrades once it's done. And I want to give my devs sufficient time for them to test it and to bring stability onto the network, so that when we do go, we would see more stability. Then again, you never know how a launch is ever going to go, but we do think that that it should be. Yeah, we just don't want to take any chances. So we're just kind of holding out for one more week. We're going to be testing after the upgrade, and hopefully the upgrade goes well. And if everything's kosher, like you said, we will deliver by the 22nd of May.
Yeah, that's fantastic news, my friend. I really think that's a good decision too, because I'm a really big supporter of testing the test that tests the tests, right? Because at the end of the day, if you have a hiccup or a mishap, even if not, checked, it can be really costly. It really can. It can be detrimental sometimes to, your launches, and people can be affected by that. So I've got no issues whatsoever. I know some people in crypto, when developers come and they say, hey, look, we're going for this day, right? And then something happens and they're like, guys, we've got to push it back a week. And then they get upset, right? They're like, oh, something's not adding up here. It might be a scam, and I just tell those people, look, you got to understand, like, with cryptocurrency, I think a lot of new investors, they really don't understand the tech behind this stuff. I can publicly say, BC, that I didn't understand it when I first came into crypto. I did not fathom how, these blockchains are, like you said before, their own universes. They really are. It's so complex and so interesting to talk about. And if you are not skilled in this area, if you are somebody that is new in this area, green as the grass grows, you're not going to get that. You're just going to be like, hey, how can I buy this coin? I want to buy high, sell low, right? And it's so much more than that. You're literally talking about technology, state-of-the-art technology. I mean, my God, when it comes to decentralized finance, being able to send somebody money with value anywhere around the world within seconds blows me away. Like, I still cannot understand, like, people made this, right? And so it really gets me excited for the next, 2, 3, 5 years. I can't fathom what the next decade is going to bring to this market. I know you're probably going to have regulation in there somewhere, which that's okay. I'm not worried about that. I think that's coming very quickly. The United States has said that very very clearly, in my opinion. But I think with us now, especially you guys, people are always constantly watching. They're all over social media, especially Twitter. Twitter is now the #1 hub. It is the social platform where all things crypto kind of they go on, right? People go to Twitter for crypto. And so when they see projects, like TerraPoker, and people obviously, if they haven't heard about LunaClassic, they've probably been living under a rock the last year. I don't know. I mean, it's been all over mainstream media, all over all socials talking about it, right? But I think when people see projects such as yourself that are, out in the public saying, hey, look, we're into poker, right? We're doing gaming, we're having competitions, we're having prize pools. It's going to strike the interest of the public because, people want to get into crypto, BC, but I feel like they just don't understand it to a certain degree. So for all the listeners here for Lunk Live News, if there's somebody who literally is listening to this program for the very first time, what would you say to somebody that today is day zero for them? Like, today is D-Day, right? What would you say to a new user who is interested in crypto and wants to deep dive into this place?
Yeah. So I've been in the industry, probably not as long as you, but enough to have gone through obviously the big events across the industry. What I will say to a new user is probably just two things. One, find, like you said, find the team that is building, that is putting a faith in the community as well. So find a team that on a chain that has a strong community and has conviction. And two, find something that has utility. And that's where our Luna Classic launch is really going to kind of come into. Right now, like I said, I don't see a lot of utility on a lot of chains. And so bringing TerraPoker, that's what we want to do. Is we want to bring actual utility to the Luna Classic chain and maintain utility on the Terra 2.0 chain. So our launch is going to be a lot of excuse me. Our launch is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start off with a really aggressive rake back event, just as a way of entering onto Terra Classic. So the more you play, the more you're going to be burning, and the more you're gonna get in return for your for the rakes. So we're gonna have a lot of fun doing it. And like I said, if you're new to the industry, I'm not gonna sit here and say, hang on tight. It's like we're all gonna make it, not gonna make it, all that stuff. Find a team that has conviction, find a community that has conviction, and find a team that's delivering a product that actually has utility. And as far as I could see, when I open up ESPN and I see Terra, not Terra, when I see ESPN and I see poker being played, this has become mainstream now, and it just hasn't been on the crypto space. So come and play. You're always getting something back. It's not just a gambling thing where everything's rigged. We're completely decentralized. We're completely even our shuffling bots are all decentralized. So in that kind of way, we really think that we're going to bring a lot of utility back onto the chain. And so come check us out.
I love it, my friend. And you're right. I mean, just within the last decade, poker has really exploded. And there's fans all over the world, right? I mean, the World Series of Poker is a brand in and of itself, and especially with cryptocurrency, which is a hot ticket item. I mean, it's the perfect combination in my book. And I really like how, people are constantly thinking of ways to bring attention to the crypto industry, right? I mean, you've got now, I've seen it firsthand, crypto projects that are sponsoring sports teams, right? In Europe and Asia and all these things. And I'm like, it puts a smile on my face, because we literally are witnessing, right, the early stages of this stuff. And I know we've heard it all before, and you've probably heard it too, BC, like, we're so early. Like, it makes you laugh, and you're like, if I only had $1 for every time I heard that, I can already be retired. But it really is true. I mean, this thing is so young, right? Crypto's so young. We don't have the regulation yet. We don't have rules set in stone. That just it baffles me. It blows my mind, right? That we don't have a rule book yet. And yet people are out here every single day. And I mean, I watched it happen in the last 2 weeks, right? We've seen that with some of these meme coins, where people have become multimillionaires in 20 days, a few months. I've seen people become multimillionaires in 4 or 5 months in here. That is crazy. It is crazy. Okay. And so when I hear of those things, I mean, I have conversations with, people who have done well in cryptocurrency within the last 3 years, people who have made life-changing wealth, set for life. And I love having conversations with these people, and I pick their brains, right? Because a wise person once told me, if you want to start thinking like a millionaire, you got to start hanging out with them, right? You got to be in text with them. You got to be on phone calls with them, Zoom calls. Here's something crazy. Go fly and meet them, right? I'm going to be hopping on a plane here very shortly this week, and I'm going to be talking to multimillionaires in crypto, right? Because, hey, that's what I want to do. I like meeting these people, right? And so I like how you said earlier that, just have conviction with people, get yourself surrounded by strong teams, strong communities, because I'm telling you guys, that's what's so unpredictable about cryptocurrency. Just when you think something's never going to do something, right? It can go parabolic. Just kaboom, there she goes. There's a catalyst that gets announced. Somebody backs it. It hits the mainstream crypto media, and then off she goes, right? So I learned that the hard way. And I'm sure a lot of people probably learned the hard way with BNB, Ethereum, SHIB, Doge. The list goes on, right? Because they probably bought a bag early, and then maybe something didn't happen for a few quarters or a few months, or here's something, maybe a couple of years. And they thought, hey, this is never going to do something. I'm selling, I'm getting out. I've seen those people, BC, that sold SHIB before it went parabolic. I've had conversation with people who faded Dogecoin before Elon pumped it. And I talk to them and I'm like, how do you go on? How do you, because we're talking millions and millions of dollars. I think I saw a video not too long ago where a guy said, hey, if I kept my SHIB, I'd be a billionaire today. I mean, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. So, like, what would you say to somebody that's bought into a project and it's like, okay, guys, I bought in, I'm down a little bit right now. It's been 3 months. It's not doing anything. I'm going to sell. I'm going to get out. Like, what would you tell people who are new that, they're just now coming into the space, they purchase an asset or a project and it's not doing anything. What would you tell those people to kind of, put their mind at ease and just kind of to explain to them how this place operates?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, right? It's after you do find a team that you want to invest in, or find an asset that you want to invest in, then it's going to go as far as your conviction is. So if you have come into the crypto space and you are in the negatives, you are in the red, then you need to be smart about it. You're gonna have a lot of visibility bias in the sense that you're only gonna see people who have made the millions and the billions. But once you get the emotion out of it, treat this like actual money. I think one of the problems with cryptocurrency is because the units are in such low numbers, that it doesn't feel like money. It feels like monopoly money. Treat it like your asset. Have conviction, and have a conviction or have a commitment to what you want to build in life, right? So how does that tie into TerraPoker? Well, like I said, TerraPoker, we're coming in as pioneers into this space. Now, LunaClassic chain used to be called the lunatics, used to be called are very familiar with the DeFi space, right? Now, once the DPEG event happened, a lot of them did migrate out, but the ones that are left have a conviction for decentralized finance, have a conviction for decentralized money, and but money is kind of useless if you can't use it. So here we are, we're stepping in and saying, come play on our platform. It's going to give you something in return. The more the people come and play, the more utility and the more value accrual it really has. I think what a lot of teams really struggle with is delivering value accrual mechanisms, and that's because a lot of them don't have utility. And like I said, like if you want utility, you need to see something that really does deliver that. And all we're doing, we're just saying, hey, here's a great game, right? It's not a coupon-based game where you come and you play, you beat certain levels, you buy items. We're not about that. We are just bringing something that's actually in real life onto the chain. We're making it more secure. We're making it more accessible, and that's where we are kind of stepping in. We'll say, okay, well, someone needs to do the dirty work and being pioneers. Someone needs to do the dirty work of launch right after a test, or launch after a big upgrade. Someone needs to do all that, and here we are. We're saying, if our experience or if our conviction is not giving you the confidence in coming and playing, then frankly, find another team. But right now, that's what we're really believing. We have enough conviction to spend our resources, our time in staying with TerraPoker, and so come play with us. It's basically the tagline is really come and play, have fun, right? Poker is always fun. It's a mind game. And I know a lot of the remainders of the LunaClassic community were ex-DeFi guys, are very familiar with where how the old Terra chain used to work. So yeah, that's what we're just trying to revive, right? And if we're the only ones that's going out solo, then so be it, right? But we have conviction, and you want to invest in a team that has conviction, and you want to invest in a team that has utility as well. So come check us out. I'm not going to sit here and say please play, right? But I'm definitely going to be here and say, you have to look at where you're putting your money at, right? And whether that's going to be on a team that's very empty, a lot of talk, or is it going to be on a team that is delivering actual real world cases, right? And just to kind of grow on that, I do think that a lot of the non-crypto or off-chain people, their biggest feedback is like, is this real life, right?
Right.
And again, TerraPoker, we're here and saying, here's a real life thing that is on mainstream that you could actually come and bring access to, and that will be our way of bringing and bridging people into the industry. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about the LunaClassic community, how unified you guys are, how convicted you guys are about the chain, and that's where we want to go as well. So like I said, May 22nd, check us out. And it's
BC, I couldn't agree more, my man. I love hearing this stuff. It makes me excited. It makes me more bullish on crypto, more bullish on LunaClassic, and bullish on 2.0. I mean, I love how you guys are continuing to work and build. I know a lot of things have happened within the last 30 days, 60 days on the 2.0 side, but I know there's a large and loud community over there as well. And I would just love to see, Lunk be able to get things back up to parity and reach out to everybody. Like, I can't stress this enough. Every single talented builder and developer in Cosmos, and just, kind of build each other up, right? Because I'm super bullish on Cosmos. There's a reason that it is in the top 20, right? And just making so much noise and so many moves. And that's because there's so much talent here, right? And, as far as I'm concerned, this market is itching and dying for that one ecosystem, that one group of blockchains or developers to just take over this market, right? And so everything that you've talked about tonight, I'm really excited about it. I'm very thankful that you guys are willing to come back, once we get our house in order here and get things squared away and get our tests going, everything's kosher. I really love hearing news like this because it proves to me that things are going well. It proves to me that people are willing to take that chance. Like you said before, kind of being those trailblazers, those pioneers, and stepping forward and saying, hey, we'll be some of the first. We'll put our necks out there. We'll show people what we're about. And that's what gets me fired up. That's what gets me, excited with cryptocurrency. And I absolutely love it. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first on Lunk Live News. That is BC from TerraPoker. You can find out more information about them at TP TerraPoker on Twitter. Go give them likes. Go give them follows. They are going to come back home to the LunaClassic community on May 22nd. BC, thank you so much, my friend, for coming on the show today. Anything else that you want to have these fine listeners know before we cut out of here?
Yeah, well, thanks so much for the time. I mean, I had so much fun being here. Like I said, May 22nd, we are launching on to LunaClassic. We're going to be delivering cash games. So come collect your LunaClassic tokens. Come play with your peers. We have a really great rake back event that we're going to be launching. And it's going to just you're going to have so much fun doing it. We're going to be burning with our rake fees. So everything that we collect, we're going to be burning a portion of that, which I know would get the LunaClassic community fired up, no pun intended. And also we're going to be returning those back to you guys as a rake back event. So so stay tuned, keep a close eye on us. Come, if you can't wait till the 22nd, come play on T2 to get some practice in, right? But thanks so much for the time, and hopefully we'll be touching base again.
I love it, my friend. Time to bet and burn. Very excited. I like it, my man. I like it. Well, thank you so much, BC, for coming on the program. I really appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And yeah, we'll have to have you back on again in the future. I look forward to it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. And that's all for today, folks. We welcome you to join us every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 midnight UTC. From us at LuncLiveNews Studio, we wish you all a happy evening and a great start to your weekend. And remember, stay classic.